Hi, I'm Kirsten, the Ectopic Pregnancy Support Podcast host. Thank you for listening, and I hope these stories and conversations bring you comfort and help you feel less alone. Enjoy this episode. Hi, Sandra. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for inviting me.
Of course. It's been a couple weeks since I published an episode, and I just needed a couple weeks of break, but I'm glad to be back, and I'm excited to have you here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Los Angeles. I live in an apartment with my husband and my stepson, who's 21. My daughter is 8 years old, and we manage the building where we live.
Okay.
And I'm also a rad tech, so I do x-rays and CT scanning at Children's Hospital, Los Angeles.
Wow, amazing. I always see Children's Hospital of Los Angeles in the news with, big donors and celebrity visits and things like that. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And
Awesome.
that's one thing I also think about. I'm like, because at the hospital we see a lot of death.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think is there any support for these moms,
Yeah.
that lose their babies or even their teenage babies or adult babies? Because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like sometimes the hospital just gets you in and gets you out.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like there could be a lot more support programs created for a lot of specialties at children's hospitals and hospitals in general.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
when did you get married to your husband?
2015. So this year's our 10-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh, big milestone. Are you going to do
Yeah.
anything to celebrate?
Yeah. We're going to renew our vows in Vegas.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So 10 years ago, we had a big traditional Catholic church wedding with all the bells and whistles. And now we're going to renew our vows, Vegas style.
I love that. We have best friends that live out in the UK, and their dream wedding was in Las Vegas, and that's where they had it.
Yeah, I'm happy and grateful that I had my big, beautiful wedding, but I'm also kind of like, I wish I had something small and intimate, like a
Mm-hmm.
courthouse wedding or a destination wedding or a
Yeah.
Vegas wedding.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. Are you staying at one of
Hmm
the big hotels?
We're shooting for the Stratosphere.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, and then there's this little chapel down the street from there, which I already booked. I already took my dress, my original wedding dress, to go get cleaned. Hopefully, I can fit in it.
You're going to wear your original dress?
I'm gonna try.
Oh my gosh, that's so special.
Yeah,
I love that. When is your anniversary? What month?
September
Okay.
19th.
Okay, September 19th. I'm going to have to keep a note of that and look
Yeah,
out to see pictures.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, Sandra, you're on the podcast for a reason. You have an ectopic story to share. So I'm going to let you start from the beginning and share what you're comfortable sharing.
Okay. So after we got married, we tried for 9 months to get pregnant. We got pregnant with my daughter, and everything was great. And then after she was probably 2 years old, maybe almost three, she we're like, okay, let's have another baby, and we tried, got pregnant. Um, went to that first ultrasound that first checkup ultrasound where you go and listen to the heartbeat. And this was during COVID, so it totally sucked.
Yeah. Was your husband allowed in there with you? No.
No, no.
So
It was
sad.
the worst. It was the worst. But when the time that I was pregnant and I was so happy, and we were so excited. We even did a little Vegas trip before the first appointment. And then when we came back, he's in the parking lot, I'm in the appointment, and the doctor or the ultrasound tech and the doctor are like, well, we can't, you could see they're struggling to find the baby, to find the heartbeat. And then they find it. And then that look that on their face, they're like, oh, okay, we're going to stop. And then they just, I had that feeling like something's wrong.
You know right away when there's something abnormal happening.
Well, you know what? Before the appointment, the day before, I was having cramps. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just gassy. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, pregnant.
Yeah, could just be a pregnancy symptom.
Yeah. I mean, I was 7 weeks, almost 8 weeks.
Okay.
So there was definitely a heartbeat. It just wasn't in the right spot.
And were they able to locate it?
Yeah, they found it in my left fallopian tube. So they were like, okay, you got to go across the street, because I was in the medical office, and they're like, go to the emergency room across the street right now. We have to do emergency surgery.
Oh, wow. You had surgery right away?
Right away.
Okay.
So my husband kind of like met up with me at the door, drove me across the street or walked me across the street. I don't even remember. And just dropped me off, and I went into the emergency room, and I did my thing.
Wow.
I remember being in the pre-op area, and like all these nurses, and they're like, it's okay, and I'm like, no, it's not okay. I'm gonna come out of this with no baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did they see that it was about to rupture? Is that why you went over to the ER right away?
Yeah, because I was already like almost 8 weeks. So
Right.
the baby was pretty big,
Mm-hmm.
and baby had a heartbeat, but it just wasn't going to be viable, and it was life-threatening to me.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you.
Did you know what an ectopic was prior to that appointment?
No. Wait, actually, I think I had read about it, like when I read the baby books with my first daughter, like what to expect when you're expecting, and it kind of, there's like a little paragraph somewhere in there.
It's so small.
Yeah.
It's like a few sentences. Not enough information, I will say.
Yeah. So that totally sucked, because it was also during the time that Chrissy Teigen went through what she went through. I don't know if you know about her.
Yes.
Thing.
Yes.
And I was so upset, because I was like, well, it's so unfair that she got to have her husband there with her during COVID, but because they're celebrities, and I'm just the average girl. I can't have my husband with me because it's COVID.
That's not fair, regardless of your status.
Really triggering for me.
Yeah, I bet it was triggering. So even when you went into the ER and went into surgery, your husband was not there. He was not
in the parking lot. In the parking lot, praying to God that I came out of that surgery alive.
Oh my gosh.
He was on the phone with one of my sisters and telling her, like, I hope she comes out of this alive, because if not, I don't know how I'm going to raise our daughter.
Yeah.
Without me. And
that's so scary for the both of you. While it's so scary and you're having to go through it on your own and sign all the papers and talk to the doctors and think of all the right things to ask, your husband probably felt so not hopeless, but there was no control in his aspect, because he was just not with you.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
And going through it, I know everybody's is different, but going through that first ectopic pregnancy, the recovery almost felt like, I'm like, is this what a C-section feels like? You know,
Yeah.
because I could not get comfortable. I felt pain, constant physical pain,
Hmm.
the whole whatever time period of my recovery. I couldn't sit or stand or nothing. I just felt so much physical pain.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of crying. There was a lot of bleeding.
Hmm.
Um, my daughter was like 2 or 3, and she would see me crying, and she would go tell my
Yeah.
husband, "Mommy's in the bathroom crying again."
Aw. Was it hard to show up for your daughter at that time?
No, it was one of those things where I'm like, just keep going. It was around,
Mhm.
it was October, so there was all that like Halloween stuff going on and Day of the Dead stuff. I had her in ballet, and I was like, I gotta do it. I gotta keep going. I gotta make the goodie bags. I gotta, send her
Yeah.
off to ballet practice. I had to keep going.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna just like sulk in my misery.
Hmm.
I think
I
like
appreciate
2 days after, I was like, all right, let's go shopping.
Yeah. I
Keep
appreciate
going.
you sharing that because there have been other women that I've spoke to that have children um, during having an ectopic pregnancy, and they do say if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would have done, and I don't know if I could have gone on because they kept them going, and you had to. I mean, you had no choice.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So, what was it like recovering mentally?
Um, Gosh, and it's still triggering till this day.
Yeah. You had some tears or your eyes started to swell up a little bit. And it's crazy that that's what happens because it still happens for me too a couple years later. And it just shows the impact on your life after the experience.
yeah. Yeah.
The grief really doesn't go away. It may lessen, but it comes back.
Yeah. Lots of therapy, of course.
Hmm.
Um, our therapist had like a religious Catholic background, so he that worked out for us. He also suggested that I write a letter to this baby and read it to my husband and just read it out loud to myself. And I did that, and it helped a little bit get through the grieving process. I
Hmm.
wrote a letter to that baby.
I love that recommendation. That's something I haven't heard before, but
Yeah.
I imagine that was really, really hard. And to say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then that was in October, yeah, 2020. And then I got pregnant again in March, March 1st, 2021. And I'm not sure if that's when the date that similar date to you.
March 1st was when I received methotrexate, but in 2022. So a year
Okay.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I received that medication too. Um, I went to work. I work graveyard. I work weekends. I went to work. I felt cramps. I'm like, I'm getting my period. I'm at work. um, I don't remember if I was bleeding, but I was like, wow, these cramps are really kicking. And whatever, I pushed through it. I got off of work and I went home, and I'm like, it just got worse and worse. And I'm like, I gotta go to the ER. These aren't regular period cramps. I'm in a lot of pain. And I went to the emergency room. I sat there for 4 hours,
Oh my
and
gosh.
finally I got an ultrasound, and doctor comes into my room, gives me the results. He's like, did you know you're pregnant? And right when he told me that, I was like, I already know. I already know this isn't good.
Oh,
I
no.
didn't know I was pregnant, but I already knew him telling me, "Did you know you were pregnant?" I already knew this wasn't good because I was in so much pain.
Yeah. Wow. Were you bleeding as well? Or it
I
was
don't
just the cramping?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I just remember excruciating cramps
Yeah.
to the
Wow.
point where I'm like, I have to go to the emergency room. And I was only like 4 weeks pregnant. I was only like a month pregnant because I was expecting my period.
Right.
So they gave me that medication, and I was in the ER probably, I don't know, a couple more hours for them to monitor me while they gave me that medication
Mm-hmm.
and then sent me home.
Wow. So you went to the ER. They told you you were pregnant. Did they do an ultrasound?
Yeah, they did the ultrasound, and that's how they found out I was pregnant.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, um,
And I think they had asked me, like, when was your last period? I'm like, well, a month ago. So my period should be coming any day now.
yeah, yeah. Wow. And from the ultrasound, they they didn't think testing your HCGs were beneficial at all. They just went right into you need
I, I think
methotrexate.
I think they might have done that. I think they might have done like a full like workup on
Okay.
that, because then
And
they had to monitor my levels to make sure afterwards that it was going down.
right, right. Do you remember what your numbers were at?
I don't remember.
No, it was
Mm-mm.
probably all a blur and something you probably don't want to think about.
Yeah, and you know what? I'll never forget that ultrasound tech. She was not nice. On top of everything, right? She was so like rude and so like not nice at all. And all I could do was be nice to her. Like,
Mhm.
well, have a good day. And she was like, whatever.
That's really
Um,
unfortunate. I've
yeah.
heard instances like that, or just medical professionals not having the right bedside manner to women going through this. It's really sad because, like you
Yeah.
said, we're already going through this, something that's really traumatic. And you just want to be cared for in the right way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
The first ectopic pregnancy, when I went into surgery, I remember one of the doctors, and I actually, when they sent me the like post questionnaire, like, how was your experience? I wrote it down. I said, one of the doctors made a comment. She was like, "You're so young, at least you know you can get pregnant." That's not what I want to hear when I'm about to go into surgery.
That statement shouldn't even be allowed to be said, period.
Yeah. I couldn't believe one of the doctors said that to me. Like,
Yeah,
that's supposed to make
especially,
me feel better. It didn't. It made me
yeah.
feel worse.
I'm sorry that you were told that in a medical setting. That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully that got back to her, and hopefully she never did that again.
Hopefully, all we can do is advocate and share our experience in hopes that others won't receive that sort of treatment and care for the future.
Yeah. And that's why I'm so happy you started doing this, because you're such an advocate for this.
Thank you. Thank
When
you.
this happened, there was no I went on Instagram and there wasn't much to follow.
Mm-mm.
And that was in 2020, and then in 2021 you came around, and now you have this.
Yeah, I felt like it was something that I wanted to create, but I also felt like it was needed because, like you said, I couldn't find anyone that was just focused on ectopic pregnancy. And knowing the severity of the diagnosis, I thought, how is there not, and then when I started looking into podcasts, there also wasn't a lot on ectopic pregnancies. I think women share their stories here and there, but it's just a post here and there.
Yeah, and I've learned, because I've talked to like I guess you could see the general public. I've talked to people, acquaintances, friends about this, and I've learned my lesson. I can only talk to certain people about this, like you, someone that has been through it. Because if you haven't been through it, then you don't know. And that's it. I've had people say, like, oh, so you had an abortion. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, not really.
No.
That wasn't my plan.
It was not your choice.
Or oh, well, that's weird. That's strange. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with your husband? Like,
yep. Yeah. There are so many misconceptions out there on this, and it's really frustrating because it's something that we can't control or we can't prevent. It's just something that happens, and our treatment options are sadly not our choice because it's life or death in this sort of circumstance.
yeah. And I mean, I think about like what women went through in the past. Like, we're still going through it tough now. I can't imagine what women went through way back in the day.
Right. And I do, when I speak about this publicly, not only just on the Ectopic Pregnancy Support Instagram, but my own personal Instagram. When I first shared my ectopic, I had friends and family members tell me that they went through it, but years and years and years ago. But, it just started becoming okay to talk about it. And it's still hard for people to talk about. Like you said, there's a lot of judgment. There's a lot of miseducation, things like that.
Yeah, like even sadly, even like my own family members, like my mom, I couldn't talk to my mom about it. She's so old school. She's so like, okay, well, get over it, get back to work. And I'm like, no.
Mm-mm. No. And it's
We're
still
in a different time.
Yeah, we are.
We're in a time where we're like so fast paced, but yet we gotta slow it down for things like this.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to slow down to help you heal. Because if you just keep going and get yourself right back up like nothing happened, it's going to be a burden over you and it will hit you one day. You just have to feel the emotions.
Yeah. And this has definitely made me more spiritual, more like careful moving forward with whatever happens, whether we try again or we don't try again, and it happens or it doesn't happen, whether we have a rainbow baby or not. I'm just more like, I feel like I'm going to be more careful in like getting too excited, or spreading it, like shouting it from the rooftops to everyone.
Yeah.
I just want to, like, if we were to get pregnant again, I would just want to keep it as like my little secret for as long as possible.
Right. Just to be safe and
just to protect myself, my own heart.
Yeah, well, and of course, when you start telling people, then you'll get asked how you're doing all the time and how's this and how's that. And when you keep it a secret, there's just less noise going on and you can focus on yourself and your baby. I don't think I announced my rainbow baby until 6 or 7 months because I wanted to wait, just as you're saying.
Yeah, at 6 or 7 months, it's kind of hard to hide it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. But I also feel like kind of like special that I went through this, because now when I meet other women that have been through this or that are freshly going through this, I can totally like understand and see them and be there with them.
Right.
I went to one of my daughter's ballet practices, and there was another mom there. She's got 2 kids, and she's pregnant, and obviously pregnant. And I don't know why the ballet teacher did this, but she was like, "Hey everyone, she's pregnant." You know, literally the next week I saw her, I sat down next to her, and I'm like, "Hey, how's it going? How's your bump going?" And she's like, My baby just died yesterday." And I was like, "I'm
Oh,
so sorry." I gave her a hug. I don't even know her. I gave her a hug. I sat down on the floor next to her. I sent her a bunch of I texted her a bunch of recommendations on books, and
oh my
just
gosh.
pictures of support, just words of support.
Mhm.
Um, and it really hit me like a ton of bricks. And she's like, "It's okay. There's no way you would have known, you know?"
Oh,
And I'm like, "I'm so sorry." She's like, "It's okay." And I
wow.
told her, I'm like, "I give you props for being here. You're bringing your kids to ballet, and you literally just lost your baby yesterday."
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that's what's so, I don't know. I feel like, all you see is women getting pregnant so easily, quote unquote, on Instagram, and oh, it's such a seamless pregnancy and this and that. And pregnancy is such a blessing, and there can be so many twists and turns during the journey, and you truly aren't safe until you're holding your baby in your arms. There so many things can happen, and I just think, I mean, for that ballet teacher to just randomly say that out loud, that's so wrong. I mean, what if the ballet teacher did that and she lost her baby the week prior? You just never know. You never know with pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but that book that I recommended to her, I think it's called Loved Baby or Beloved Baby. Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so it's on Amazon. It's a cute little pink book with a heart and flowers. I think it's called Beloved Baby. And
Okay.
it has like a Christian background. I think the author's Christian, and it really did help. It has a lot of nice passages and stories um, for
Amazing.
ectopic. I forget if it's specifically ectopic or if it's like just baby loss in general.
Okay. I'll have to look that up, and I can link it in the notes.
Yeah.
Since you had surgery and methotrexate, what would you say about both of them? Did you think, in your experience, was there one that was easier over the other?
The medication.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because surgery just sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And if
Yeah.
you said it was very painful and
I
it,
felt like I felt like I had a C-section, but with
yeah,
no baby at the end of
right.
it.
Right. Wow. So what did you do to cope through your second ectopic?
um, I, you know, I would just smoke recreationally.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm like, well, I'm not pregnant, so
Yeah.
might as well relax. I
Mm-hmm.
don't drink. I don't drink alcohol. I have ulcerative colitis, so I don't drink. I don't even want to risk getting an ulcer from drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So if I am gonna like relax instead of like a glass of wine, I'll just go out for a smoke.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah.
and
I,
just movies, I don't know, podcasts.
mhm. Yeah, just things to distract yourself and relax you. I definitely, not that I turn to drinking all the time, but you know, I I like sparkling wine, and when I received methotrexate, and I think it maybe took me a couple weeks just to feel okay enough to have a glass or two.
Mm-hmm.
I remember asking the nurse that gave me methotrexate if it's okay for me to have drinks. And she said yes. And now looking back and hearing from other women, you should not drink when you have methotrexate in your system, because I'd have one drink and would forget everything I mean, I would black out after one drink. Um,
Yeah.
and it was not good. Not good at all.
Yeah. It's like even when I had my daughter and everything was good and they give you that medication for whatever for recovery, narco or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I remember taking that and I'm like, not only would I get constipated, but I just felt like I was so high as a
Mm-hmm.
kite.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. I'm trying to think the
why do
exact
they
name.
give this to women with, and I'm like trying to like breastfeed and
Yeah. Yeah. It's some of those are so powerful. But yeah, I instantly turned to therapy, and therapy helped me tremendously. I mean, I don't know how I would have dealt mentally if I wasn't talking to a therapist.
yeah,
Was
yeah.
your husband very supportive through everything?
Yeah, he was. He was. We did therapy together. Because our our partners they go through a different type of loss too,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to deal with what with us going through our loss. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say about my therapist.
That's so true, though.
Um, oh,
Yeah.
we started doing date night. We would do date night.
Mm-hmm.
Um, at least once a week, and didn't have to doesn't have to be like a extravagant date. It could just be like going for a walk, going to get coffee, just being together at least
Mm-hmm.
15-20 minutes.
That's amazing. I don't
Yeah.
know about you two, but going through the ectopic made us stronger. It was hard at first to connect, and he was amazing and so supportive of me, and just always tried to make sure I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and sometimes I felt like he didn't understand because it wasn't physically done to him.
Yeah.
So there was like that back and forth every now and then, but now looking back, it truly made us stronger as a couple and stronger individually too.
I just remembered what my therapist said. He said, you know, right now in this world, we feel like we lost, like we missed out, right? Like our babies were taken away from us. Um, but he said, you know what? When you die and you go to heaven, you're going to get to raise your baby. You're going to get to be with your babies and raise them in heaven. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I've seen quotes out there like, they'll be waiting for you. when you cross over, which is, it's a hopeful feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Sandra, is there anything else you'd like to share regarding your story or any advice you have for women who either are currently going through it themselves or may find themselves going through it in the future?
Just don't be so hard on yourself. It's not your fault. And we're powerful women to go through this.
Yeah, we really are.
Yeah. And I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. It's beyond like painful and on so many levels.
It's so painful. Yeah. Well, and you're so brave for coming out and sharing your story as well. So thank you for being here. And I know it's hard. It's hard to be vulnerable and hard to think back during such a dark time, but you sharing will help others.
Yeah. And it helped me.
Thank you for listening to the Ectopic Pregnancy Support Podcast. If you are looking for additional resources, head to ectopicpregnancysupport.com to learn more about my exclusive online support chat. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. See you next time.